Hi, Bhadrena. How are you? Hello. Bhadrena from Croatia. So, Patricia, Georgia, Sandeep, Bhadrena, Muntaha, and rest of the person, Corina. Okay, should I start now? Patricia?
Okay. Yes, shall I start?
Okay. First of all, I would like to say many of guests today I can't stay for sudden problems. That's why Margaret Belestro and Shamsuddin Talukdar sir, Jahangir Alam sir, and Dr. Shahidul Amin sir. Unfortunately, they are not joined in this program today. First of all, I would like to express my gratitude on behalf of We Bangladesh chapter to join me this evening from home and abroad. Today's person saying good morning, especially Patricia, for Patricia Bruna. Good morning.
Good morning.
And good afternoon, good evening, to everyone. Okay, get to me. At first, I am Mamta Broksana Akhtar from Bangladesh, assistant teacher, secondary school. During COVID-19, we have been working regularly with students and educators at home and abroad to ensure quality of education so that we can meet the challenge of the 21st century continuum. I have arranged virtually. In today's program, I have invited academics from several countries, including my own, but unfortunately, they have not joined for sudden problems. We named it the roundtable session. The topic of today's discussion: building social and emotional learning skills in the classroom. This is an ongoing process. We are glad to have you all. In this way, I get all the time, all the program, because we learn a lot from your discussion. We'll try to maintain this continuity. I think this will be successful if you are by my side. It is worth noting that much of the credit for this program goes to especially Patricia.
Okay. Well,
Patricia,
shall I start then?
So personal in this program. So a special thanks to Patricia. Patricia and I both plan to start a program like this. I would also like to mention that there will be 3 student-teacher partners in the next episode of this program. So let's start our program. First of all, I will know identity of each person. Please let's start with Mr. Sandeep Malaya sir. Please, Sandeep Malaya sir, just one
yes,
minute.
yes.
You introduce yourself for our.
I feel I will be thankful if you give Patricia ma'am the first opportunity to say, Madam. Will
Thank
it
you.
be better?
Okay. Okay.
Senior to us. Let us share something from you and then we will start.
All right. Okay. Well, as everybody knows, the topic today is CL, social and emotional learning. And the question is, why are we all of a sudden hearing of these important skills? Well, there is a lot of talk about CL, that is the social and emotional learning. And I think that there are 2 main reasons. Let's see if you agree with me. First of all, technology. We are in a digital era, and we all know that students and, children and adolescents are very fond of using different types of digital devices. Of course, these have positive and negative effects, but in this case, we need to concentrate on the negative effects, because excessive screen exposure may affect young people in different ways. For example, their attention span is greatly reduced. Their academic success is lower, and they can have other psychological effects. For example, they may have high levels of anxiety, frustration, and distress. And the other reason, and this one is much more important, because it is a positive effect with introduction of active methodologies in which a student is centered in the process of learning. Social and emotional learning is necessary. Why? Because these type of methodologies have a holistic approach to teaching. This means that they consider the child as a whole, with body, mind, and emotions. And we should remember that emotions cannot be detached from learning. They are part of the process of learning. Today, we cannot conceive learning without emotions. So for this reason, it is important to consider the development of these crucial skills at school, because we need to bear in mind that they are as important as learning math or reading. That's why they should be present. Normally, in the traditional way of teaching, they were completely absent. Why? Because the only interest was learning using memory and repetition. But today we know, through different sources of information, especially neuroscience, that emotions play a crucial role in the process of learning. That's why they should be taken into account. And when we compare schools, for example, today, we are in the process of transforming education. So today we are innovative teachers, and we at the same time have teachers who are still dependent on the traditional way of teaching. And there are institutions which are clearly distinguished from one another when they take into consideration CL, that is to say, the development of these capacities. Why? Because they can see the results of their students. Do you agree?
Thank you, Patricia Bruna,
Yes, yes, totally agree.
for your respectful and informative discussion. Thanks again. I have another question to you, Patricia. Uh, how can we use social and emotional learning in the classroom? How can we use social and emotional learning in the classroom? Brief discussion in a context, in a country. Please get it started.
Okay, how can they be developed in the classroom? This is what you mean.
Yes.
First of all, as we have said, they are important. Why? Because they are part of the integral formation of the students, education of the students. Why? Because they are concerned with human development. They are crucial because they help us regulate our thoughts, our emotions, our behavior. That's why it is important to teach our students this type of skills in order to behave better, in order to have stronger relationship with their peers. And we should remember that learning is a social act. We learn together, and students spend 5 hours, at least 5 hours every day at school. So they need to have strong social skills, because they are relating with other people permanently, not only with their peers, but with other teachers. So this development of this type of skills are essential. We should remember that emotions come before reason. Normally, we think that reasoning is the important activity that should prevail in the classroom. No, first of all, emotions are important, especially today in this pandemic crisis we're undergoing. Emotions are first. For example, we started school last week and content was not important at all, because the first important information that was given to our students was emotions. We started dealing with emotions because they had serious emotional problems last year, and they felt very happy to start or to go back to school. So the treatment of emotions was the first topic in every classroom in my country. The idea is that emotions connect the brain and the heart. And first we feel, and then we reason. When we make a decision, emotions are present. This cannot be avoided. So this is what we need to teach our children, because when they develop these emotional and social capacities, they are able to control their emotions better. They are able to relate with their peers better. They are able to make decisions more openly, and they become more confident, because when their emotions are stable and they are positive, they have the opportunity to learn more easily, because the idea is to include these emotions not only for the process of learning, because this type of emotions should be present at home, at work, and they are useful for the rest of their lives, because it is not a question of teaching them at school, because outside school these important skills are also present. And it is also important to consider that when these skills are present, students become more resistant to the lure of drugs, teen pregnancy, truancy, and dropping out of school. That's why they are so important. Today we are having these problems, especially they can defend themselves better when they are bullied, because they've got the tools. So the idea is to give them the tools. How can we give our students different types of tools? Well, there are different ways. First of all, we should practice mindfulness in the classroom. This is a good activity. Why? Because they improve their mental states, and besides, they learn relaxing their bodies. They learn breathing strategies to calm down. Sometimes they need to breathe deeply and to concentrate on their breathing so as to organize their inside emotions. By practicing mindfulness, they feel more confident. Also, we should promote a growth mindset. When children and when students in general have a growth mindset, they know that they can achieve important goals through hard work and dedication. When they have a fixed mindset, they remain in the comfort zone. And we know that as teachers, we are usually outside the comfort zone because we take risks all the time, and we love challenges. So we are a good model for them. So when we promote and when they get a growth mindset, they are outside the comfort zone because they also take risks and they are learning all the time. Another important activity that may improve this type of skills is to promote active listening. That is to say, active listening means listening with all your senses. When they listen with all their senses, they are listening actively, not to give an answer, to understand. This is what normally happens to adults. When we are listening in any conversation, in any ordinary conversation, we are listening, and our purpose is to answer immediately. No, first of all, we need to digest the information we are receiving in order to be able to give a right answer. That's why normally we have misunderstandings. We are not able to understand our interlocutors very well because we are usually ready for an answer, not ready for understanding before giving an answer. So if we teach our students active listening, they become better listeners, and in this way they are better communicators. And there is a great varieties of activities that we can use in the classroom in order to improve these skills. And I always mention the inclusion of the arts. For example, when we use drama, music, dancing, painting, etc., the students get involved in this activity in which there is a lot of creativity and imagination, and they are able to participate actively, and in this way they consolidate these skills. And something very important in this case is that these skills should not be separated from the other abilities. They should be integrated and present in every subject. In this way, the students are permanently learning how to manage this type of skills successfully.
Thank you, Patricia. Surely we can say from your discussions we have many new things and achieved. In this stage, I would like to Shandip Malaya sir, please first introduce yourself, and if you agree to Patricia Abrona discussion, please discuss on the basis of your country, first of all. And second, how is social learning theory used in the classroom? How can improve student social learning? I repeat it, if you agree, first of all, introduce yourself. And if you agree, Patricia's discussion, please discuss on the basis of your country. First of all. Please.
Yeah. My audio is clear, ma'am?
Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Okay. I clearly agree with Patricia, ma'am, on what she said, that past 11 months or 12 months, the kids were in the home. They were totally blank. They never touched their books and all. So they were totally away from the academics part. So now they were on the screen, they were with the mobile. So what the madam said, that we have to bring them from that position to the level where they can understand what we are going to teach them. So first you have to understand what is the state of their mind, and afterwards only we can sow the seeds in their head. Directly to we cannot just start and with our academics. So I agree with her that we have to understand their social, that emotional part, where what is going on in their mind. We have to understand them, elaborate them, evaluate them, and according to their needs we have to bring them out over there, and then we have to feed what we want to, the academics or whatever things we want to give them. Then what activities madam said, like involving them and everything, like giving them in the form of drama, making the groups and teaching them. So those all activities are very, very correct. We need to change the system of our education, what the pattern of teaching we are doing before, like just teaching them and they were memorizing it, repeating it. That process has to be changed now. Now here we have to, since they were 11 months behind, we have to bring them out from that corner in our corner, where we have to make some other changes in our own self. We have to make changes so that we can feed them the correct matter, which they will be easily able to digest, or else it will just be bouncing off their heads. Now, social and ma'am, shall I continue ahead?
Yes, yes.
Ruxana ma'am, shall I?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You can.
I agree with you, ma'am. Completely, Patricia, ma'am. Whatever you have said is very right. We teachers have to change because it's very difficult if we move in our old-fashioned way. That's very true what you said.
Thank
Because
you.
the children are very much behind now. Yes. Next question.
Thank you, sir, for your feedback from Patricia's discussion. I have another question. How is social learning theory used in the classroom? How is social learning theory used in the classroom? We can improve student social learning.
What skills we should use in our school, in my country, you are saying?
How is social learning theory used in the classroom? And how can improve student social learning? Am I audible?
Social and emotional skills. Yeah, it's a bit not clear, I think.
How is social learning theory used in the classroom? Social learning theory used in the classroom. How is social learning?
Social learning theory used in the classroom.
Classroom, yes. And how can improve
Correct?
students?
Yeah.
And how can improve students?
How can we improve? Correct. Yeah.
Learning, yes.
You want me to, you want me to say on social learning and emotional skills used in the classroom, or what skills or what methods we can use. Correct. So the first thing is what, since they are very much behind, past 11 months, they were not in the school, they were in the house with their parents. So they were totally out of the game. Now, once they step inside the school, as now they are coming, they are not ready to write, they are not ready to read correctly, means they are totally blank. 50 to 60% they are behind. So now if we want to teach them these things, the first thing when the classes start in the morning, we should evaluate them. We should give them an enthusiastic smile where we can just have a small talk, not an elaborated talk, just a very small talk where we just say hi, hello, how are you, and all those questions will continue. So they will be personally in touch with us very smilingly. They will come little bit one step ahead from where they were. The second thing will be going like this. We have to evaluate how they feel. Now, just if I am a teacher, I enter my class and I just greet them happily and everything okay, but then I just directly start my subject. They will not be able to come with me because they will be in their own state of mind. So the next step should be, my step should be, I should evaluate them. I have to give them some work in a group or let them perform some activity where I can observe them very clearly how they are doing, what they are doing, and which child is not coming out, or which child is more behind, or which child is more ahead. That I have to evaluate. Second, the third step should be, I should make them read something so that physically and mentally they are engaged with me. Once they start getting engaged with me, they will, many of them out of 50 students, 20, 30 will be starting to, will be with me, but still there will be half of the class who will not be with me. So I have to make them first to read something where slowly and gradually they will start moving one step they will be coming towards with me. And once I start evaluating them correctly, then I can put what I want next, reading loudly, saying some stories what happened during that time. So the connectivity between them and me will be developing. I have to ask them to say some stories of the past 11 months, what they did, what difficulties they had faced, what family problems they had. So they will be able to share their ideas. So apart from the academic, they will be giving me some information about their personal life where we can join together. The next is, we should we should teach the kids how to compliment each other in the class, show the words of respect, how to respect each other, what the power of respect we have to show them, what the power of respect can do for them, what if the good deeds, if they help somebody, what they will get in return. And we have to also ask them during this pastime how they helped others, or what help did they get from some others. So they will be able to more coming close to each other. So these are some of the skills which we need to develop. Apart from academics, leadership skills are there, where we make a group, small group of 50 students are there, five students group is there. One is made the leader, where they have their own motto, they have their own slogan, they have their own decisions. They decide what they are supposed to do, and they come and share their ideas in a group. They express their feeling, where they come in touch. Once they get out of that chapter, of that back emotion which they were facing past so many days, then we can start with our work. We have to teach the skill of working in groups, where one is made the leader. That leader will be controlling that group. That leader will be able to control that group, but during making this leadership, giving one person that leadership, that leader has to see that he is not hurting anybody in his group. So the leader understands the part of emotion, and the other students understand the ego. That ego part will not be there, because that person who's the leader, they have to follow him. So that part which is always coming in between each another, that won't be there. That they will be holding it. This two emotional skill they will be learning there. They will be learning to obey their leaders, where they will be following their leaders, and the relation between the leader and the team, and how to uplift the team, how to generate the team, how to empower the team. That they will learn over there. So then you can give a chapter of your academics to them, where in the chapter they will be again working in groups. So that the part of the chapter also is academics also is introduced in the activity, and the emotional and social skills also will be introduced at the same time. Both the things will be together. Our academics is also going ahead, and they are developing themselves. After that, we have to see the leader, the group of leaders who is there. If 10 leaders are there, the 10 leaders also come together. They decide what kind of activity they are having or what they are going to do. So this will give them the sense of importance in themselves, where they will understand that they are important for something. The team is important, the group is important, and the leader is important. So they will also develop this kind of skill of leadership. Ego also won't be there. Apart from this, academics is also introduced in the activity. So we are going ahead in the activity as well as the development of the skills, and everything is going on. After that, you can say we can create a role playing game. Like, one becomes a doctor, how he is going to test the COVID people, what activity, what questions should be asked. So they will be coming in other person's shoes. They will be understanding what a role of a doctor is in a society. Then they will be asked to play a role of a policeman, where they will feel okay, what kind of activity a policeman had done during that time, whatever they had seen in the TV or mobile or whatever they had seen. They can play that role. They can understand what difficulties the policeman faces, the doctor faces, the nurse faces, or any other type of roles, whichever we give them. They will try to understand the feelings of other men's people. So that quality which is very necessary today, there, if a person is saying something, he is thinking from his point of view. If I am saying my point of view, but I am not understanding other person's view. But when I come in other man's shoe, I understand what exactly how he is thinking, why he is thinking that way. The point is one and the same, but the angle of thinking changes. So if I give them the activity or role program like drama, what you said, madam, in the same way, slowly and gradually, they start coming in other man's shoes. And when they come in other man's shoe, they get a correct picture, okay, how to think in other man's way, how to think in other man's person's way. Sorry for the interruption. A call had come, I had disconnected. Very sorry. Yeah.
It's
So
okay.
this problem which is there of ego, that will be stopped. Whereas when the role playing will be there, and understanding a human feeling or understanding others will be developing more faster. Next is, there are many such topics, but I wouldn't want to go very long. I'll just, madam, how much, Ruxana ma'am, how much minutes are there for me to speak?
Just 10 minutes.
Okay, fine, fine. Now, improving social and emotional vocabulary, like emotional vocabulary, social vocabulary, you can see like complimenting others, then even complimenting each other for small works what they have done, appreciating them, not criticizing them, not condemning them. Now there are some sentences, like, see how I can improve, this should be the question. Instead, I am no good at this. A very simple thing, words are only changing. When I say how can I improve, this means I am trying to improve, I am open with my mind. On the other side, if I say like this, I am not good at this, means I have closed my doors of my mind, so I am not going to move ahead. So these are some of many such sentences are there. If you see, we can understand that when we use or the child uses these kind of sentences, he stops thinking ahead. Another is, let me try a different way, instead of I give up. Now, a very simple thing, I give up means I have again closed my doors. I am not ready to do anything. Now I'm not going to work. But when I say, let me try in a different way, means I am open hearted. I'll struggle to win up till, I will work till I don't win the game. So that attitude, these kind of different words are there, which words we need to put on the chart in the classroom, where the child should be made, every single child every day should read different sentences, so that they are getting active, they are getting emotionally driven, and they feel that they don't have to give up. They have to stand and they have to fight for it. There are many. Another is, have I done my best work? Instead, I am all done. Very simple. Have I done my best work? Asking yourself, self-evaluating. You are asking yourself whether you have done correctly or not. On the other side, if you just say, I am all done, means you have finished now. Now you are not going to change what you have done. So that accepting a change or accepting a positive, constructive criticism, that is not there. So we need to put many such statements or many such cards on our classroom charts, so that they can change their way of thinking and their way of working. Next is, make a space for reflective writing. We should give them a small paragraph to write, where we just have to tell them what you did past 9 months in the house, where they can just think properly, elaborate whatever they have done. They can slowly and gradually write in a silent way, and they will tell you what ideas and what thoughts, what they did, that they can express in the on a page or a paragraph and give us. So that also is a good way where we can, after their writing of this small paragraph, we can tell them, "Hey, bhai, who has done the best and who needs to improve over there." So this also is a very good part. The next is
Yeah.
we also need to have a small classroom, a small corner in a classroom. In a classroom, we need a small corner where they can comfortably sit when they want to be in silent. Like for if we are upset, what we do is we close the door in one room quietly. We sit for some time. Again, we open the door and come out. Why? Just because to settle our emotions, settle our anger, settle our feelings. In the same way, a classroom should be given a space, a corner with that same person who is upset. He should be given with a leader of the class, some leader who should be a problem solver, who should be able to understand, whom we know okay, he is a very good in understanding. That person should be handed over to that person. They both should together discuss their problem and create a solution for it. So that activity will develop a sense of problem solving talent in that person, and the other man will be able to express his feeling, where both will be developing in one or the other way. Then controlling the anger, ego. For this we need to understand who's getting angry, who's not appreciated. Sometimes it happens when you don't appreciate somebody, he gets angry. Yeah, I did so much, I took so much trouble, but I was not appreciated. So that, for that we need to make them understand what is the difference between good work and what they have done, where the improvement is. And we have to express them, this is not one day game. The game is going to continue, and after continuing you will win one day. So that idea we have to generate in them. Next, allow a talk for a short time. Let them talk. We should not just go on talking when we are doing in the classes. Generally, a teacher enters the class, she delivers a lecture, and for 30 minutes she goes on saying. Hardly she keeps some room for the child to express their feelings. That is not there. That should be developed. That we always keep. We ask the child what they have learned, how they have learned, what they are doing, how they are doing, and explain. Ask them the question. Make them read the paragraph and explain what was done. There's one very short story I will tell you. Uh, it goes like this. There was a classroom. One teacher was teaching in a class. While the teacher was teaching in the class, the, the teacher was writing on the blackboard. When the teacher was writing on the blackboard, teacher was facing the blackboard, and the students, all the 40 students, were looking outside the class. Again, when the teacher turned back, the students started looking at the blackboard. Again, when the teacher turned towards the blackboard, the students started looking outside the class. Third time also the same thing happened. Again, the teacher was writing on the blackboard. She was facing the blackboard.
Sandeep sir, just
Again,
reminder,
the student.
after 1 minute, we will rejoin in Zoom. This is prime Zoom. So we will rejoin after 1 minute. After 1 minute, we will rejoin in Zoom. Am I audible, Sandeep sir?
Yeah,
Hello?
yeah, yeah. Say.
After 1 minute,
Yes, yes, ma'am.
after 1 minute, we
Okay,
will
okay.
be rejoined in Zoom. This is prime Zoom.
Okay.
Okay. Please continue.
Yes.
After
So
1 minute,
3 to 4
we
times it
will
happened.
join again.
So we are leaving the room now, right?
But we are coming back.
Yeah. Okay.
Hello, Sandeep sir.
Yes.
Please,
Yes.
finish your speech.
Continue, madam.
Will you finish your speech?
Yeah. Just 1 minute. I'll end with this story.
Yeah, carry on.
So the teacher turned this 7 times. It happened 7 times. The teacher got irritated with on
He's listening. Georgia is coming. Georgia is coming.
Georgia, ma'am.
Georgia.
Georgia. Hello, Georgia. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. First of all, Georgia, welcome to my program. First, I'm blessed to have you. Welcome to Bangladesh. I would like to first introduce yourself first. Just my program presence. And instead, I have a questions to you. Why is social emotional learning important in the classroom? Why is social emotional? First, you introduce yourself first. Just
Okay, all right. Hello, my name is Georgia. I am a teacher of English from Greece. I teach primary school students, which means ages 6 to 12. I'm really interested in doing other things with them apart from just teaching them English, involve them in different projects, and you know, open, as I always say, open small windows to them into the world. I had prepared something. I won't show it because I think the two previous speakers have covered everything. I think social and emotional learning is really important, especially nowadays. First of all, because bullying, both bullying, physical bullying and cyberbullying are on the increase. And we need to equip our students with the necessary skills to fight back and to stand up for themselves and for the others. And it's also important because ours is an era of globalization, which means that in order for people to live harmoniously and in peace, they should be able to understand and appreciate each other. So emotional learning is, for example, for my students to accept the fact that someone is not Christian, but he's a Muslim. But this does not make him or her a different or a bad person. Emotional learning is that someone who does not celebrate the New Year's Eve on the same day that we do in Greece is not a bad person. So these are things that should be cultivated in the classroom during projects, I should say, because it is a way for students to meet peers from other countries and socialize and communicate with them. I would like to say also that I am a member of a group that has started in my city that has to do with Frenet Pedagogy. I don't know, Patricia, if you're aware of this or
I don't know about that group. I'm interested.
Okay, okay. Frenet was a French educator who believed in that, you know, even a kid is like an adult. So a kid should not be, for example, ordered about what to do or how to feel or how to decide things. And there is a great Frenet network in Greece. A lot of educators have started implementing it in the class. One small example is once a week, they gather with their students in a circle and they spend, let's say, 10 or 15 minutes asking the students and answer the question, what's up? Which means that the students can bring in the classroom their news, something that made them think seriously, something that made them happy, etc. There are certain rules. What I'm trying to say is that this way is fostering students' social skills as well as emotional skills. The rules are that nothing that is said in the classroom can go out of the classroom. No one is making fun of the others. Everyone is listening carefully, lending his ears, and everyone is waiting patiently for their turn. There is also a secretary who keeps, you know, the records of the conversation, a time guardian. You have 2 minutes, Patricia, your time is up, please finish, etc. And from this whole conversation, students can realize that they have things to learn. For example, if Patricia says that I've learned that in Argentina happened this and this, maybe another student can ask, okay, where is Argentina? Let's find it on the map. So this is a way of educating students in a different way. However, both social and emotional skills are being fostered in this way because they learn to respect each other. They learn how to resolve conflicts peacefully and using their critical thinking, and they become sociable because they need to be ready before going out in the real, let's say, world. So I have been involved in this project, let's say, for the last 2 months. I'm still learning, I'm really new, but it sounds really interesting. I mean, both educators and students need training, But as soon as we are ready, I think it will work miracles. So yeah, Frenet and Cell, thank you.
Love it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Georgia, for
Yes.
your effectful discussions. Just I want to know if you have any suggestion on social learning and emotional learning for third world country like Bangladesh. We will definitely respect your opinion. Please, Georgia, Manata, if you have any suggestion on social learning and emotional learning for third world countries like Bangladesh.
All right. For me, the first thing that should be, implemented in every country are project-based learning.
Yes.
The easiest, let's say, way, and nobody needs any special training. If you involve your students in projects, especially with students from other countries and even other continents, then every student will learn to appreciate the differences of the differences of the cultures. So for me, this is a way. Internet is at our service.
Yes.
We can communicate with students really easily through emails, through video calls like here Zoom. We can even set up Flipgrid accounts, which means that they can exchange views on a certain topic. And this sometimes is is preferable with students who are really shy to talk in front of a camera immediately to another person. So if they send a video and they receive a video, it will help them, overcome their shyness and, become more emotionally connected to other people. I think for all schools, for all countries, there should be an opening towards other countries through different platforms which allow students and educators to collaborate on common things, sustainable development. SDGs. I've lost the word now, and environment, ecology, digital education. English is a vast topic. You can learn English in any possible way, through science, through PE, through sports. So if you try to teach your students using projects, I think projects will help them both learn and retain their knowledge. And apart from that, it promotes cultural understanding. That's one of the things I have always believed, and I will never, change it.
Thank you, Georgia, for your insightful discussion. Thanks again. In this stage, I would like
My
to
pleasure.
Muntahar sir. Please, Muntahar sir, are you there? Muntahar Mahamud.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay, sir. First of all, welcome from Bangladesh. In this stage, I would like to question what are the main components of social and emotional learning? First, introduce yourself and then discussion. Please, sir.
Okay, I'm Dr. Mundir Zayoud. I'm from Palestine. I am an assistant professor of English language teaching at Al-Quds Open University. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So here, like in Palestine, as the entire world, also we are taken by surprise with the spread of COVID-19. And the schools were suddenly closed for 3-4 months. Our children and students were at home for these 4 months, and the government then decided to start teaching them online using Teams, Google Meet, etc. But unfortunately, they haven't taken into consideration the situation in which our students are. So they have given them a timetable, and they asked them to sit every day from 9 in the morning till 1 or 2 in the afternoon. Immediately to their topics or they have not taken into consideration the situation. They have not even touched the emotional aspect of it. And as our students were like very new to the technology, they were surprised and they were like not very comfortable with it. And because I know why, because they have just started with them in using their subjects. They haven't touched, as I said, the emotional aspect of the students. Before like inviting them to the meeting or to the, let's say, to the Teams or Google Meet, they should have introduced them to first slowly and like touching upon their emotions, talking about the COVID-19 and how it is spreading very fast. And as you know, like students who are in grade 1 up to 5, they are not aware of what COVID-19 is. They, at the beginning, they were very happy that the schools were closed. And then they have started realizing that they are missing something. They are missing their colleagues, they are missing their peers, they are missing their teachers. And to start immediately with them, teaching them their subject during, through like online, and even without seeing the teacher's face also. Here, they don't use the cameras. So our students were taken by surprise by that. And they were also reluctant to cooperate with the teachers and to attend even the meetings. As I said, they have just avoided touching upon the emotion of the students. Have they invited the students for like online sessions where they have to talk to them, to introduce them to the technology, to introduce them to the situation, to talk to them like in a friendly way, in a motherly way, like for teachers, female teachers also talk with the students. That would have been a bit normal for the students. But to start with them immediately talking about their textbook without giving them a chance, even to express themselves, to express what they are missing, that was like, as I said, as a disaster for our students. Even when the schools reopened, my kids, they came complaining that they said, wow, from the first day we entered the school, they have started giving us textbooks and they are explaining the lessons. I said, yes, they didn't talk anything about your, like, how was your vacation? Why we were in a vacation? Why? They said, no, they just distributed the textbook and they have started teaching and giving us even assignments from the first day. And this is, I feel it is very bad, and they should change the way, and they should really touch upon the emotion much more than concentrating on the textbook. Because teaching is not only textbook. Teaching is a complete process. Emotional, textbook, knowledge, physical education, etc. So they should give the student chance even to express themselves, to like to say, to spell why they are like at home, how they what they have done during the closure, what they are expecting, etc. As my friends from Dr. Sandeep, he said that there are many ways where we can involve the students' emotions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mumtaz sir, for your important discussion. Uh, so we have learned about its components from about your discussion, social and emotional learning. We will definitely try to continue that in the field of student education in our country. Again, thank you for valuable discussion. In this stage, I would like to Bhedrana sir. Please, are you there? Hello? Hello? Bhedrana sir. So, are you there? Hello? Hello. Maybe she's not. Okay. In this stage, I would like to again, Patricia Arbona, how do you develop social emotional learning skill and how do you teach students social skills?
Well, there is a common thread in what Georgia and the other teachers have said,
Yes.
and this is metacognition. We shouldn't forget that not only when we are teaching these skills, CL, but in every subject we are teaching. Why? Because when we give students these type of tools, they are able to assess their own learning and their own progress. And when we are teaching these skills, they are able to discover their own weaknesses and strengths. And in this way, they can control their emotions better and they can improve as a person, because the idea of teaching this type of skills is to make them good people in general. So when they learn this type of metacognitive strategies, and it also calls my attention because they are not naturally present in every classroom. I don't know why, because if we are thinking that we are still having a traditional school, well, it's obvious. The traditional methodology is not interested in using these type of strategies because students are passive receivers of information. But when they become active participants in this type of methodologies, we are using these strategies in order to give them active participation and also the opportunity to reflect on their learning, on their progress, on everything. This means that they have a word. And it is very important when they are giving a voice, because they feel their teachers are empathetic, that they are good communicators, and when they feel that their teachers support them, they participate more openly. They are actively engaged in all the activities. Why? Because now their emotions can be controlled very easily, and they feel satisfaction when they can do that, because it's not only being able to control our own emotions for ourselves. The idea is to be able to behave properly in society. We should remember that emotions are also present in learning, as I said, and emotional and cognitive development are codependent. We cannot think of one without the other. And this is something that the students need to take into account. Piaget once said that it is our responsibility to teach our students to love what they learn. Well, when they learn this type of skills, social and emotional capacities, they are able to recognize that emotions are very important. That's why they normally require a pleasant atmosphere, which invites them to start the process of learning. I always say that we cannot start a class saying, okay, good morning, sit down and pay attention. If we start in this way, we block our students for the process. When we are having any type of social event, we get prepared. For example, for an interview. Why not preparing our students for this valuable event in their lives, that is learning? So emotions are always present in they are always present in the classroom. And for this reason, when they are present, the students realize that learning becomes meaningful because they are having positive emotions. And that's great when they realize that they can learn naturally and they are not forced to get new information. This is full of magic. So for this reason, CL are crucial. We cannot go on without this type of skills. Remember, I'm saying this because we are in a period of transformation in education, and still we have schools in which they are not used. So sometimes this depends on the staff, the teachers that are part of the staff. Sometimes principals are reluctant to make them become part of their institution, but gradually they realize that they are good because they improve academic success. The students have the possibility to behave properly. Why? Because they have the necessary tools to have a good relationship with their peers. And we cannot start the process of learning if there isn't a positive emotional atmosphere. It is not only for learning, it is also for teaching, because we need to feel pleased in a comfortable atmosphere. For example, if our room is not clean, it's not nice. I have had to work in classrooms in which a previous course was there, and after the bell, I was supposed to start my classes. So it's not nice to be in a dirty room because there is no time for a cleaner to have it appropriate for the following class. But what we need to prioritize is the state of the students and the state of the teachers. When there is an emotional harmony between students and teachers, the process of learning takes place beautifully. For this reason, these skills are crucial. It is also important, as Sandeep said, is that learning is a social activity, and this I also mentioned this before, and the students need to learn leadership skills. They need to know how to work together, and this is essential. And when we teach them these social and emotional competencies, they are able to work better, they learn better, they relate better. So all the possibilities that are present when we are teaching this type of skills are there because we know that we will improve the atmosphere of the classroom. These type of skills are good for teachers and they are good for students. That's why they should be present. And as we are in this process of transformation in education, I think that we have been using these type of skills for a long time. The thing is that they should become generalized, especially in those schools in which students are having family problems and social problems. They should be emphasized there. But anyway, they should be present in the integral instruction of students.
Thank you, Patricia, for your insightful and meaningful discussions. Surely we have achieved many more knowledge from your discussions. In this stage, I would like to Shondip Maloya sir. Shondip Maloya sir, are you there?
Yes, yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay.
I
Uh,
I 100% agree with Patricia ma'am and Georgia ma'am. What you said that we need to develop these skills on a very global basis. It should be there. Apart from academics or with the academics, these skills
how do you social and emotional?
should be developed.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah. Now it's audible.
Yes, yes, sir.
Is it audible now?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah. There are some net issues, it seems.
Uh,
Sorry for the inconvenience. Uh,
how do
the
social
thing
and
is, we
emotional
need to
function?
develop these skills
Yes. Huh.
because these skills only can make a better person. But we should also not forget the child is in the school only for a limited time, for 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours with us. But we also need to develop the parents also. We should make them aware that these skills are more important than the academics. Today's present generation, if you say, the parents are so much behind the academic results that they want 99.99% of their kids, but they don't see what they are teaching in the house or what they are imparting in the house. That awareness is not there. They are busy comparing the child's result with another child. That comparison issue is a very big problem. They always see that this person is doing better, this kid is doing better, my kid is not doing better, or that kid is better in this subject, my kid is not better in this subject. So this indifferences which is there, we should make them this. Every child is unique. Their child one child is good in one subject, the other child is good in other subject, or that child may be good in very good in singing. So every child has got a different perspective or very good talent in himself. So we have to make the parents also aware of this thing. Now, another main problem over here is that all the teachers which we are there, we are working this in a very different way. We are thinking in this way that we should impart this social and cultural skills and emotional skills to the kids, just because we feel that they are necessary. Because we are seeing from a different angle, we want that the generation who is in front of us should not face problems which we had faced in the earlier times, or which we are facing in present time, and we see the world in a different way after 10 years what the world will be. When the kid comes out after leaving the school, when he comes out in the market, he'll be in a very different scenario where the talent of leadership is not there. If he has an ego with him, he won't be able to sit in the market. He won't be able to develop himself in the society. He won't be able to cope up with his wife itself, or he may have many other problems with himself. So these talents or these abilities where he can control his feelings, emotional feelings which you said, social where he can talk, express, with whom who is a good friend, who is a bad friend. If he don't understand these basic concepts which should be taught in the school, he will face very much problems in the outside world when he goes there. As Georgia ma'am said, he'll be bullying, cyber bullying, and all these things, that he will be cheated in the outside market. We are cheated at this age also, we get cheated. So how is it not possible that that generation, if they are not taught, they will be facing the same problem? So it's like what mistakes we have done, they will be repeating the mistake. So why not teach them from our mistakes what we have done the mistakes? Let us teach them so that they don't fall in the ditch at that time. So it is very necessary for all of us to come together and generate the skills, or we should also have some plans where we can make the parents aware of these things. So even the parents can impart a sense of responsibility to the kids, so that that will help the kids in the house, and that will help the students in the school also to cope up with their own colleagues at the same time. So when two things go hand in hand, it will be more easier to uplift the society. This is what I feel.
Thank
I
you.
hope all of you might be agreeing with it.
Thank
Yes,
you,
absolutely.
Shantakalaya, sir. In this stage,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
would like to Georgia Manata. Georgia, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay. If you asked us to summarize today's discussions, what about be your opinion?
Can you repeat? My connection, your connection is not very good, so.
Make a summary of this discussion.
Oh, all right. Okay. So ours is an era where social and emotional learning is really, really important. And this is for different reasons. First of all, and I would like to stress what Dr. Manter said, emotions were, kids were deprived of their emotions during the pandemic because they were forced not to miss anything from the formal education, and they missed everything that had to do with their growing up, with their feelings, with their anxieties, insecurities, etc. So this period was one, and it is still one, that teaches us that we need to involve social and emotional learning in every aspect of our teaching. Also, students should be, made responsible for themselves. They should be asked to act as if they lived in a society, in a small picture of a society, let's say, where they can take responsibility of their own learning, and they can solve problems their own way and after critical thinking. Social and emotional learning is again really important because of increasing bullying cases, as I said, and cyberbullying. And as Patricia and Sandeem said, also educators benefit from CL because they will definitely see their way of teaching being enhanced. If they make sure that their students are emotionally happy, are emotionally satisfied, it's definitely their teaching will stay in their hearts, not only in their minds. And this is very important.
Thank you, Georgia Maneta. A teacher from our country has joined. Thank you, Ma'am Afsana Jahan. You can tell us if you want to say something on today's discussions. Afsana Jahan, ma'am, please. Our discussions topic, building social and emotional learning skill in the classroom. Please, Afsana Jahan, ma'am.
Rosanapa,
Yes,
can you hear me?
yes, you can.
Yes.
Yeah, let me hear from you, one or two, and then if I can say something, I think it would be better. Can I do that?
Yes.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Where are you from, Afsana?
I'm from Bangladesh, Chattogram. My school name is Chattogram Cantonment Public College, and I'm a senior teacher, English in my school. Hi, everyone.
Okay, now we have been talking about the importance of CL, let's say social and emotional learning. And of course that all the teachers here are working with this because we consider that they are crucial. The thing is that social and emotional learning is a process that requires, first of all, a lot of time, patience, and dedication, because they are essential for school, work, and life. So it is important, as the other teachers have said, that of course they are learned at home, and I think that they are consolidated at school, because the students have the opportunity to live these different competencies in different activities, so in the different areas. And this is very important, that these type of skills should not be separated from the other skills. All of them should work together. Georgia proposed project-based learning, and this is very important because there all the subjects are articulated and the students have the opportunity to have a big picture of what they are learning. And on top of this, the process of learning is improved because these skills are also taken into account. When children and young people in general, our students, have this type of skills, they feel more confident, they gain the autonomy that is required in learning, and this is one of our most important responsibilities, to help them become autonomous. And when they can control their emotions, when they have better relationship with their peers, and they feel that they can take their own decisions, well, they can realize that they have become autonomous. In order to be able to assess their process of learning, we have been mentioning the importance of using metacognitive strategies. When they use this type of strategies, they are able to control their own processes, not only in learning, but their own lives at home.
And social activity.
Yes.
Social activity also, yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
What's your opinion?
Thank you. Thank you. Probably Bhedran are not ready on this topic discussion. On the topic of our discussions today, Bhedrana, she said me that she's not able to ready to discussions on topics building social and emotional learning. So we just want to know, Bhadrana, just your identity for our audience. Bhadrana, are you there? Bhadrana, are you there? Maybe she's not. We will stay just 1 minute. Should we rejoin the program, Patricia, after 1 minute?
I have to go on speaking. I gave the floor to Afsana, so it was just an introduction. So the idea is, if you, Afsana, are using this type of strategies with your students, and in what way you feel that they are improving their process of learning and their lives in general. So this was the main idea. We
okay.
have just...
Yeah, I can share just some of my practical experience that as I didn't know the topic earlier, so if I knew it earlier, so it would be easier for me to gather some info for your discussion, of course. But if I can just share my practical experience during the COVID situation, yes, we are you talking specifically about COVID situation or all
In
over?
general.
General. Okay, so let me talk about the situation before the COVID. Yes, in my school is a privileged one. We are having students from the privileged group of the society. They are well off. They're coming from well off family, so they have some sort of understanding or all these as social and social learning and all these things. So in school, definitely what we
Apsana will join and the program again. হ্যাঁ না আপনার পা আপনার এটা শেষ করেন
Okay, there you are.
Yes.
Afsana.
হ্যাঁ আপনার
Good.
আপনার প্লিজ কন্টিনিউ ইউর স্পেস
Okay.
You're back.
Yeah, but I thought the meeting is ended. That is why I did try again. Okay. So actually what I was saying that we are in, I'm serving in a privileged school. So they have some sort of social and emotional learning from the very beginning in their homes and of course in our school. But what I think that yes, in school classroom teaching, definitely we need to provide them the social learning to what should I say, to cope up with the changes, to cope up with the social development, to cope up with the social networking everywhere. They need to know what are the things they should take. They need to know what are the things they should do. They should go forward. All these things they need to know, and it must come from the school level, of course. And school can provide a huge support on that content, definitely. There's the social learning through their lesson, of course. We can develop them the lesson with the social and emotional learning through some skills, of course. If we can develop the skills in them, the soft skills, of course, like the life learning skills, of which we can say that the core skills, if we can provide them all those skills in the classroom through their lessons, they will develop some sort of social learning, of course, and emotional learning, and they will be developed themselves, they will be capable of developing themselves as an individual, which is the main focus, I think, of your discussion. I'm not sure if I'm wrong, that they are to be grown up as an individual, a person who is capable of doing things for himself, by himself, and of course he or she is capable of making or establishing himself in everywhere properly, socially, emotionally, everywhere. I think also a skill learning, if we can teach them some skills like the thinking skills, critical thinking skills. These are very important. Leadership skills, we can provide them some leadership skills from the very beginning of their school life. It is very important. I think it can help them to develop their inner insight. So these are the things I think would develop their social and emotional learning, of course, and it is of course important for the students to make oneself for future.
So the idea is to give them integral education. That's why these skills are so important, together with critical and lateral thinking, as you have mentioned. They are crucial.
Yes, they are crucial, of course. Without this, such as if they can't think something out of the box, if they can't make any solution from any problem, how can they be develop themselves in a society? How can they can put some impact on anything? So all these things, skills should be taught from the very beginning of their student life. And as a teacher, as a school can provide all these things very effectively. As a teacher has, teachers have larger impact on our students. I think more than family sometimes. So we can play the role of just teaching them or showing them the way that's okay. These are the things you can do in this way or that way. These are the skills, or if they can be able to be creative about something. So these are the skills we can provide them. We can teach them from in their school life to make them themselves, growing them as themselves.
So the idea is to provide them with this type of skills and then use them outside the classroom in real life activities, in real life situations, because in this way we can see if they are really learning.
Thank you, Afsana, thank you very much for participating in the beautiful discussion. Hopefully, we will get you in the future time, because it is an ongoing program. Afsanapa, my reminder, because it is an ongoing program. Every Tuesday, we will the program. All of them are my foreign teachers' friend. Afsanapa, they are all of them are my foreign teachers' friend. They are always with me. They are always with me. I'm grateful to all. In this stage, I would like to Shandip Palay sir, if you have something to say, you please say. Please. Say it.
All the things, whatever has to be said, were covered by each and every teacher. Georgia madam had said a very good thing. What she is practicing, she is making a small group of students where they share their ideas. And the best part, what she said, whatever is in the class, it's always in the class. It doesn't go outside the class. This thing should be practiced in each and every country by each and every teacher, wherever it is possible. I also feel that, as Afsana madam said, these are the basic skills which should be taught in the school. So we teachers should emphasize more and focus more on these skills rather on academics. Because academics can just give them a certificate and 99.99%, but it cannot give them a good life in the market. Once if they get a good life or a happy life or a satisfied life, it is necessary for them to have these basic skills. These are the leadership skills, emotional skills, and all the skills which we have discussed in today's top session. These skills are more necessary rather than the academic, because if they have got this skill, they will be paid more better than their academic results. So it is necessary from the base or from the foundation, we all teachers, or we should awaken other teachers also. We should ask our all colleagues also to join this session whenever every Tuesday, as Ruxana madam said. We all should bring them together and enlighten them and make them understand the importance of these topics, so that they can make a very good generation in the coming future, where the generation will not be in the dark. They will not be facing the problem which we all have faced in the past. They will be in a very good state. And as we are working, there are many such techniques. Madam, you also said, Patricia ma'am, you also said some very good methods which we need to implement in our day-to-day life. Afsana madam also gave very good idea. Georgia madam also gave very good ideas. So we need really to work more on these things rather than stop working on academics. Academics should be a part, but more focus should be on this topic. Then only we can enlighten the generation, or the generation will be really in a dark, will be just dancing with the certificates, and no practical knowledge will never be there with them. So if we want to save the nation or save the planet, we need to work more on this topic rather than work on the other things which are not going to give a good fruit to us. That's all, ma'am. Thanks to all the colleagues who have joined us.
Thank you for your contribution. We have learned a lot with all the activities that you have suggested and what they really do with your students. This is great. You know, when we meet together here, we are learning all together. We have
Yeah, of
a
course.
great experience,
Right.
no doubt. Well, I have to leave. Roxana, sorry. I
Yes,
have classes after this.
yes,
I think that we are finishing.
we have to finish now. Before that, I want to say something. Very timely discussion. Surely we will all benefited from this discussion. From my
Excuse me.
yeah,
I actually I joined later, so I may I know Patria from Argentina. What do you do? Are you a teacher or a head teacher or something? What?
Yes, I'm a teacher trainer and I specialized in drama. So I'm normally use drama as a consolidator with, I teach English, of course, but the idea is when I train other teachers is to use drama as the tool to make them active participants. And in this way, they can live what they are learning. That is to say, they have experiential learning. For me,
Okay.
playing and drama are the best tools to make the students active participants.
Okay. So you're basically a teacher trainer.
A teacher trainer.
Are you not in a school somewhere? Are you?
No, I visit schools and I deliver workshops and presentations in order to improve the teachings of teachers.
Okay, so no, I didn't know that. That's why I'm asking. And Shondeep, you're from Sri Lanka?
No, I am from India.
India.
India. Yeah,
Okay.
I am a English and a maths teacher. I teach students of 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade.
Okay.
And I go for motivational courses and seminars I conduct in my local areas.
All right.
That's what I do.
Okay. So I'm basically a teacher from in a high secondary school. I teaches 8, 10, 10 and 10 group students, and I'm a teacher trainer, of course, for British Council. I work for British Council teacher trainer, skill teacher. Skill teaching. I just normally call skill teacher trainer.
Good.
Teacher and leader, of course.
Okay. So pleased to meet you then.
Nice to see
It is
you.
the first
You
time
too.
that
Nice
we
to
meet.
see you.
It is the first time,
Yeah,
so it's great.
this is
Yeah.
first time. Yeah.
So you see that in a way we are connected. Everybody here is connected in some way or another because our main aim is to improve the quality of education. That's why we are together here today. So this is the most important aim.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
No, thank you.
And nice to meet you too.
Thank you.
thank you all.
Nice seeing you, ma'am.
Thank you all of you. We have to finish now. Just I'm so grateful to everyone for staying with me for so long. Everyone has been very supportive of me, and I hope to do the same in the future. I've learned a lot from you today. This is how we want to learn and teach the next generation. Everyone expected us to take real human resource. Everyone will be fine. We will meet in another program. Okay.
Okay. And I need to say,
fine. Thank you.
Before
Thank you, ma'am.
leaving,
Thank you all of you.
Roxana